Hey, what's going on everybody? Gareth here with FCP Euro. Welcome back to another DIY video. Today's gonna be a really basic one. I'm gonna show you how to remove a cowl cover on an F15 X5. So that's gonna cover 2014 to 2018. Would also apply to a F16 X6, which will be 2015 to 2019. Also would apply to the M variants of those models, so the F85 and the F86 X5M and X6M. Generally, the reason why you need to remove the cowl cover, many reasons. If you want to replace, let's say, the wiper transmission or wiper motor, remove a valve cover on the engine, spark plugs, any kind of service that's going to be obstruction, or you're going to see the obstruction from the cowl cover in place, you want to go ahead and remove it. It's not a terribly difficult process. Only need basic hand tools. So in this case, a 10mm socket and a T25 socket. And then if you have these little push rivet pliers, also super helpful in removing those little push rivets without damaging them, so you can go ahead and reuse them. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it, and I'll show you how to get this done. So we have the hood open, and right here, this is your cowl cover. So the wiper transmission, all that stuff is underneath here. Also your cabin air filters are under here as well. On this particular X5, which is N55 powered, so it's an xDrive 35i. If you want to take the valve cover off or change spark plugs or fuel injectors or any of that stuff, you might be able to get away with it, but realistically, this takes up a lot of space, makes it a lot more difficult. So there's a lot of reasons why you need to remove this, but we're just going to show you how to go ahead and do it. First and foremost, you have this little weather strip seal right here. Just go ahead and pull it off. Push this off to the side. Now you're going to come with your little push rivet pliers. I like the angled ones for this. There's a little push rivet here. So pull that out, and then there's a bigger push rivet from behind. You want to remove this as well. Now, if you were just replacing the cabin filters, you can actually just remove this individual panel. Or if you're doing your brake fluid service, you can remove that panel over there as well. But we're removing this entire piece. You have this little retention clip here in the middle. You're just going to kind of pull this up, and then you have a locking tab here on the side. So this little opening here, that's where this spring clip locks onto. So you depress that, pull this up, and then you have this tab here on the back side that you'll just lift up, and it'll pull itself off of this upper cowl cover. So that's out of the way. We put this off to the side, and now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Similar situation. Again, you have a really big rivet kind of tucked in behind here next to hood lift support. Come in here with the angled push rivet pliers, pull it out one piece. And then you also have one more over here. So slightly different position than the right side. That's just because of spacing requirements. This one over here is probably easy to miss if you're not looking for it. And now we can go ahead and remove this as well. So again, you have this little tab back here. You're just going to lift up on it, and the whole piece will slide out of the way. All right, next we're going to go ahead and remove our cabin filter housing, which is right here. It's just held in one little clip. You pull up on that clip, and the whole thing will come out in one piece. That clip I pulled up on is just this one right here. It just snaps into the housing. All right, now we can start to remove some of the larger pieces. So we're going to start with the T25. There's 6 T25s back here at this top piece, so we'll go ahead and remove those. With those 6 T25s removed, this whole panel kind of just lifts up and out. It does clip into place pretty good, so you're going to need a little bit of force to remove it. There we go. See these 4 holes here, you have to kind of just lift up on it, but they snap into these little stands pretty good, so you just need to lift up to get it out of there. So move the 2 T25s. And then your 2 10mm fasteners are right here and right here. And now this section comes right out. Similar game, we got 2 T25s back here. And then we have this electrical, this wiring for the wiper motor. We're going to move out of the way. That one might vary depending on the car that you have, but just be aware that that's there. One more T25 here. And then we have 1 10mm down here. And now we go ahead and lift this piece out of the way as well. So as you can see, with those panels removed, you've opened up the entire engine bay. So again, valve cover work, any top end engine work, suspension work. For example, the strut towers are blocked by a lot of this. Even basic services like brake fluid, cabin filters, a lot of these pieces have to come out to gain access. And you do have one additional piece back here, which generally you're not going to remove because this doesn't really obscure anything. But if you did want to remove this, you could as well. Everything is pretty much accessible from this point. So that would be the general process on how to remove this lower section of the cowl. This upper section here, where the wiper is, we'll be doing a whole other separate video on that, so we'll go ahead and link that for you. But this is also another common piece that deteriorates over time, requires replacement, so we'll definitely be touching base on that upper section as well in the future. But primarily, this is strictly for getting access in the engine bay, so you can take care of common services and maintenance items that you would normally have to do. Again, suspension work or any kind of engine work, you'd normally have to have those panels out of the way. So now we're going to go ahead and reinstall all the parts that we removed. So, after you have done any of the work that you needed in the engine bay with the cowl removed, now we're going to go ahead and just reinstall it. So it's kind of the opposite of what you did to remove it, but we'll go over some of the details. The left and the right piece are not interchangeable, so the part that I'm installing right now only fits on the left side. We have an electrical connector on this side. Just gonna go ahead and make sure that kind of clips back into how it was before. And that is everything on this side. Now we're gonna go ahead and install the right side, which has basically all the same T25 and 10mm fasteners, just different quantities. The T25 fasteners are gonna go back here in the rear, and the 10mm fasteners are gonna go here towards the front. Installation of the air filter is pretty easy. Just make sure that you line up the tabs and then it'll click into place. If it doesn't seem like it's fitting correctly, it's probably because it hasn't sat flush on its mounting. Also, that probably won't click into place. So once it clicks into place and everything looks even, it's properly in there, and you can go forward and put the last panel on. All right, so that's how you go about removing the cowl cover and reinstalling the cowl cover on an F15 X5. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is also going to apply to the F16 X6 or the F85 X5M and F86 X6M. Again, if you're doing any kind of suspension work that involves removal of the strut or the upper control arms, or you're simply doing any basic engine work that requires access in the engine bay, you're gonna have to remove that cowl cover. And it's really not that hard, just some basic tools, knowing where the location of those fasteners are, and the handful of things that we talked about during the video to be aware of. Definitely something that you can do at home. Definitely something you're going to have to do if you want to do any of the work on these vehicles. So I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave in the comment box below. Hit that like button if you like this video, and also hit subscribe. And as always, we'll see you for the next one. Thanks for watching.